So the Benton County Noxious Weed Control Board, we are a board of 5 members, and they're all volunteers, and each member has their own area that they need to kind of keep an eye on to kind of see what weeds are a problem in their areas. And then we have a board meeting once a month where we discuss problems in certain areas, the work that we do with people and the county, and our finances and stuff. To kind of, the board members really help keep us in check, and they're important because everybody needs to kind of have someone to make sure that they're getting their job done. What the weed board is supposed to do is act kind of as an enforcement agency and an educational resource to help people of the county learn what the noxious weeds are and how to control them with really the best practices possible. A lot of what we really try to preach is like not really just sustainability exactly, but try to get it to where you can manage the issues on your own. But really, once you know what you have and how to treat it, it's a lot easier to bring it to like a better, just a better quality, more native, if that's what you're looking for. And we just really try to help be good, or preach good stewardship of any land that you're using, be it a pasture, just a open native sagebrush area, anything like that. And really, a lot of times it's a lot easier than you think it would be. We used to be part of the county. I believe it was 2013 we separated and became our own entity. The way the weed laws are written, which is RCW 1710, those are the weed laws that we follow. But the way they're written is weed boards are actually supposed to be separate from the county. A lot of weed boards aren't. We're kind of the black sheep in the whole weed board community. I guess every county in Washington State by law needs to have a noxious weed control board. They got started to protect agriculture, and I believe ours was started in the 80s. It was running really good for a while, had some issues, had a whole new regime come in. We separated from the county, and now we're fully functioning on our own. We deal a lot with people with pastures and yards and things. Generally, there's not a whole lot of noxious weeds in people's yards, but we still will help people with common weed questions and things. Normally, you think of a weed board as dealing more in like rural areas and farmlands. The way Benton County works is we have most of our assessment, at least with the weed board, comes in from in cities. So since that's where most of our funding comes in, we're trying to really focus more of our time in those kind of areas, smaller lots. We like working with farmers, but generally a lot of times they have things under control or don't feel like they need any help. So a lot of our focus is just kind of your normal smaller plot homeowners. A lot of the questions that we have deal with, a lot of it's Bermuda grass, which isn't a noxious weed. We try to educate as good as we can on how to get rid of it. It's a really difficult one. And puncture vine and things like that, real common stuff that you would see. Puncture vine is a noxious weed, but that's generally easier. A lot of times people will say, well, how do you get rid of puncture vine? So first off, I'll say, well, what are you doing now? A lot of times they're not doing anything. So even if you teach them how to just use some tools to get rid of some manual tools, then they're at least getting started. But there's some herbicides you can use that make it a lot easier too. So noxious weeds, that's actually, it's a legally defined term, and these weeds are defined by the state. So we have a list that the state has that we need to go off of. The county can do some adjusting to it depending on if it's designated or non-designated, or depending on the class, if it's A, B, or C. But generally, what a noxious weed is a plant that has less distribution than the majority of other plants or weeds. So it's something that you can actually control. It is a problem for agriculture, for recreational activity, and generally like something that's toxic or is just invasive and can take over areas. A lot of times what noxious weeds do is they will create such a high population, a dense population in a small area that the other native plants can't compete with them, or there's something really thorny and annoying to where people can't really use it, and just kind of make it hard for areas to be accessed and really enjoyed or have any kind of biodiversity. Think of us as more of like a tool. So if you have a question or on any kind of plant, or you're trying to get an area, something established that you're having a hard time getting started, like grasses or native plants or flowers or anything like that, give us a call. We can send out one of our crew. We will go out and check out what you have and see if we can offer some advice and see if we can help out. It's free. Depending on what you have, maybe we'll offer a little bit of help. Our job isn't really going out and spraying weeds for people. It's our job to tell people to take care of their own weeds and issues like that. But we're trying to be more helpful than just try to tell people what to do.